Oh, we've got some news today. A new member of the Sacramento Kings, Shams Charania, reporting that the Kings have signed free agent big man Precious, the big sneeze, Achiuwa, to a deal. And in a corresponding move, they did have to cut a player. They waived Isaac Jones, a second-year big man who they had on a two-way contract last year, went to a standard contract in March of last year. He was on a non-guaranteed deal, so they waive him. Which kind of your first reaction to this move by Sacramento, Morgan?
First initial reaction was, okay, great. Making tweaks, making moves within the first 3 weeks to put more people on your roster that you actually trust and want to play then. Because what was happening with Isaac Jones, I mean, I could sit here and be like, I don't think it was fair for him, blah, blah, but it's like, I wanted to see more minutes, more opportunity for him. But at the same time, if they didn't trust it and they didn't see it, well, then put someone on your roster that you do want to see.
Yeah, I like how you just brought that up too, because you're relating it a bit to the start of the season when the Kings had Dennis Schroeder as their point guard. And then behind it, you're like, okay, they don't really have a backup point guard. And they elect to go with Russell Westbrook. And I think Westbrook's been really a big positive for this team, right?
Yeah.
Pushing the pace, the intensity. I think he helps the young guys. This move with Isaac, I thought the same thing as you, though. I just don't think they gave him enough of an opportunity this year. And I guess, they get to see him more, right? In practices, walkthroughs, and all that. But we watched the games.
Yeah.
We saw him 14 minutes in that home opener against Utah. Then after that, he plays like a minute and 30 seconds and then like a minute in his last game, which was, I believe, the Chicago game. So you think about that and you're like, well, how do you know? And part of it, too, is you saw him make so many strides in a positive direction last year, right? Remember when they first signed him on a two-way deal? He worked on his body. By the time we saw him in the G League, like he got better and better.
Evolving his game as a big,
And then Mike Brown gives him an opportunity.
Yep.
I think one of the games that I remember was that Minnesota game on the road in Minnesota. And it was like, oh my God, this guy's impactful coming off the bench.
As a big.
Yeah, like a lob threat. It looks like he's got a good wingspan that he can contest shots. Like a lot of great things. Then in March, he gets that deal converted into a standard contract. But, the tough things for those with two-way products is typically those end up being like very like minimally guaranteed, partial guaranteed deals. And that was the case with Isaac Jones. I thought in the summer league, he looked really good. Got his deviated septum fix. It looked like he was working on the corner three.
His body, everything, he put in the work. Things were changing from what we could see. And then even, you're exactly right, Summer League, we got to see a bigger sample size of it.
And I'm not going crazy like, oh my God, they just let, a future Hall of Famer or All-Star walk or anything like that. I guess my slight disappointment is like, I just don't know that he got enough opportunity to tell me whether or not he truly belongs or could fit with this team this year. And it was interesting that he didn't get those opportunities because the Kings are in desperate need of size, especially without Keegan. You're looking, why doesn't someone like him get more opportunity? With that said, when he did play, I was a little surprised. He didn't feel like he had the same pop that he did last year.
Yeah. And obviously it's going to be hard at times when you only have so many minutes and you're trying to, showcase yourself in those moments within those opportunities and trying not to screw up and doing what you can. Totally get it. But it's like you mentioned too, when talking about it, they saw him in practice. They saw him a lot more. Whatever they felt about him, they did not trust. And the ultimate thing is, doesn't matter if we trusted and we wanted to see certain more things from him. It's how they felt. And if they didn't trust him, they weren't going to play him. And that's what started happening. And they need someone that they can trust and put out. They need a body.
And you say they. Well, last year, the they was different. Right?
Ding, ding,
ding.
It
was Monty McNair, Wes Wilcox, and start of the season, Mike Brown. You've got a new front office.
Yeah.
Doug Christie's now the head coach. Scott Perry didn't give Isaac Jones a two-way contract after the draft last year, right? He didn't turn that into a standard contract. So maybe they look at him and go, you know what? He's 25 years old. We didn't see what we needed from him in these moments where there was opportunity. we need help at that spot. We've been playing Westbrook at the 4. Hell, there are moments you're playing Levine at the 4.
Yeah.
It's something we have to fix. Scott Perry obviously knows Precious Achiuwa a little bit. We'll talk about him in a second, but one closing thing on Isaac, I think the other thing that jumped out to me about him is like, although he worked on his body, I don't feel like he popped enough athletically. Like, good wingspan, but I just felt like there were times it was like, okay, maybe the strength isn't there, the athleticism
The
isn't there.
hops.
Yeah, because there were issues like some guys were going through him
Yeah.
or over the top, and it surprised me because of his length and size. But these are all things like someone like him can work on. Like,
Absolutely.
he's worked, his journey is insane. And
Yeah.
we talked about a lot last year, working at a pipe manufacturing company out of high school. His buddy's like, come try out for this team, makes the JC team, plays junior college ball, then eventually ends up at Washington State. It's a hell of a story. And then like to earn an NBA contract, like,
Amazing.
it's a big deal. This grind is tough, and his journey has not been the one you typically. Everyone's journey is different.
Yeah.
It's a good lesson. You know, you'll think, hey, you go to college and get drafted, and then you just play in the NBA. Like, no, it's success is not linear.
And, you know, even when we got to talk to him a little bit when he was in Stockton and working on his craft and working on his game, you could tell he was hungry and couldn't wait to be back with the big team. He was like, okay, that's what I'm going to work for.
Yeah.
That's my end goal. And so now that he's had an even bigger taste of it, I feel like he will put in the work and do what he needs to do to try and not lose that in this time. Obviously not here in Sacramento, but maybe just somewhere around the league. And so I think he has that work ethic. I think he's able to have that mentality. How that will really work if that will really work with a different team in the NBA, we'll have to see. But it's like you said, Scott Perry and his team, they weren't the ones that decided on Isaac Jones. And so they're also the ones that are deciding on who they do want on their roster as a big that they feel like they can trust.
Well, Scott Perry, very familiar with Precious Achiuwa because Precious was with the Knicks, and that's who the Kings bring in. I think there's a misconception when you look at Precious versus Isaac, because you think of a second-year player versus a guy in Precious who's been in the league a while, and you go, why? You just go with a guy that's way older. Well, Isaac Jones is 25 years old. Precious is 26.
Correct.
Similar age, similar size, but bring something a little different in my estimation. Precious, 300 plus games of NBA experience, right? He's got the NBA
He
experience
has the
and his favorite
experience.
playoff experience too. But I think he's going to be a guy that Kings fans dig. I'm not painting him as something like, oh my God, they just got to start. It's like, no, he's a good role player.
Yeah.
He's a nice role player, and he's an energy guy. And the Kings are one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. Outside of Sabonis, more times than not, you're looking around going, who else is going to help here? Keegan's out. You're not really playing any other bigs. Last couple of games against the Bucks and the Nuggets have been better. Precious Achiuwa is going to help their rebounding.
Yeah, and it's not sitting here and go, he's not a 7-footer, but you still are
6'8" and long.
Yeah, I was going to say you still are adding size.
And athletic. That's the big thing.
Absolutely. And you do love when you see his age at 26. You're like, okay, cool. Like, this is what we're adding to add depth, to add someone that we trust, that we want to play, however they want to perceive that. Great. But a rebounder as well. And then think about how many times already in the first 3 weeks of this season, we've seen a lineup where Russ is at the 4, and the small ball can work for the Kings in certain matchups. Like, they're going to have to do that. Sure. Sometimes Precious Achiuwa could even be like small ball 5 if they have to go in that direction. You know, like there's just different options that they have adding Precious to this team, but it's nice that they're adding more size. He's someone that also, we talked about with his rebounding, has been a really good offensive rebounder throughout his career as well.
That's big. He can hit the corner 3. He's a really good athlete, can block some shots, runs the floor.
Yeah.
And so I think he checks a lot of boxes for what the Kings needed. I mean, at this point, it's like, can you find anyone that can come in and play as a big? So now you have someone that has the NBA experience, who has multiple stops, that has a resume that shows, he can play a little bit. So I think it's a good pickup for Sacramento. It's a low risk move too for them. One of the things, do you have anything more on Precious besides loving his name and his siblings' names?
I knew you were going to go there. Yeah, no, I love I love his name, but I love his name even more because of what his parents named all of his siblings.
His oldest brother, God's Gift Achiuwa, played at St. John's. In addition to God's Gift, he has two other brothers, God's Will and Promise, and then two sisters, Grace and Peace. Meanwhile, I was named David.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pretty
Thanks.
vanilla.
Thanks, Mom.
I like my name.
Morgan.
But like, honestly, if my parents named me Precious, I'd be like, oh my God, they love me.
But then your older like brother's name is God's Gift. Like it's almost like God's gift is better than you.
Oh, yeah. No, like, I mean, if you're God's gift, you're the number one child. So, look, Precious is an NBA player. I don't know what God's gift is doing right now, but like Precious is like, what do I need to do to be God's gift?
That's so funny.
Anyway.
But yeah, really cool names. Precious Achiuwa, now a member of the Sacramento Kings. And yeah, I'm excited. I think he's one of those guys that Kings fans are going to love because he does the dirty work. And like, it's the same reason why fans are kind of digging Westbrook right now. You play with a certain level of intensity and effort, and Achiuwa like brings that to the table, and so it'll be good to see him.
I appreciate that Scott Perry and this team are making tweaks right away, doing whatever you can, even if it's the smallest things ever. I don't care where it is on the roster, how you have to do it. I mean, these are the things that I want to see from happening from now all the way to trade deadline, going on.
And to that point, one of the things some fans have brought up is like, why Isaac Jones? Why couldn't you keep Isaac Jones? He's a second-year player. You've seen some development. Why didn't you, buy out Dario Saric and his $5 million deal, or buy out Doug McDermott's contract? One, I think with Doug, it's like choosing, all right, if you don't believe in Isaac Jones, you just buy him out for $150,000 versus spending more to buy out Doug McDermott.
Yeah.
The bigger question I would have is why even give Doug McDermott a fully guaranteed deal before the season? Like that might be one I would have been like, hey, let's partial guarantee it. See if we keep him on the roster through January, we could pick it up the rest of the way. I think that was a bit of a mistake, although Doug's like a good vet, good guy.
Sure.
But,
he's not playing.
Yeah. Dario Saric has looked rough out there. And they traded him. And I think the thought was, all right, you're going to trade him in the Valanciunas deal. We save a little money. It's going to allow us to go after Kuminga. They don't get Kuminga, obviously. Well, with Saric, it's like, do you buy him out? That's kind of expensive. Or are you using him as a trade chip, as an expiring contract to get a trade done near the deadline? And I think that's what it comes down to. Like, this clip is meant to talk about Precious Achiuwa and what he can bring, Isaac Jones. But big picture wise, of course, all eyes are going to be on the Kings come February. What does it look like? And I think we could judge the Saric thing if it ends up getting moved in a deal and it's like, oh, the Kings, okay, that makes sense. If he's still on the team after the deadline, people are going to be like, what was the point of all this?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's going to be fascinating to see how everything plays out the next couple of months. The Kings are sitting at 2-5 with a tough homestand ahead, but I think Precious Achiuwa makes them a slightly better team.
We love change. We love tweaks.
Sometimes we love change.
How about we love tweaks when tweaks need to happen?
Sure.
Do I need to put it like that?
Yes. Let us know how you're feeling about the addition of Precious Achiuwa. What do you think about waiving Isaac Jones? And if you have any big picture items involving the Sacramento Kings, hit us in the comments below. We'll get back to you too. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
Hey.
I forgot about that part. Bye.